when I was like barely 18. I was working my very first.
Okay, you're cool.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And let me tell you something.
Do it.
I've been adding this stuff to my water.
Yeah?
It's terrible. That's all I'm going to say.
You're not going to tell them what it is?
No, I'm going to give no context.
Okay.
Yay, BBs. You have to guess what I've been adding to my water.
Ooh, that's a fun thing.
Guess what I've been adding to my water. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah, everybody take your guesses.
Who is Ryosuke in the live studio audience says, THC? No, I'm not cool. Okay. Olive oil. Have you seen we are the test market in Los Angeles for the Starbucks olive oil coffee.
Yes, we are.
They are really pushing that olive oil coffee.
Sounds disgusting to me.
I don't think anybody's ordering it because it's olive oil coffee.
Yeah, that's pretty gross in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any of you into olive oil coffee?
We're getting some good guesses here that people are saying mud water, bath salts.
Raw egg,
old school style. Now, the mud water is something that I got a lot of advertising for on TikTok.
Is that real? What's
because
that?
I'm a man with ADHD.
What's mud water?
Mud water is like, hey, did you know that caffeine's ruining your life? But how do you get coffee? Because you're a man who wants cool coffee things. You drink mud water. It's made of mushrooms. Throw it in your coffee and or your water and drink mushroom water, and it makes your brain better.
Does it?
No.
I would think not.
I mean, it's pretty good for you if you don't get enough of the stuff that mushrooms have. Oh shit. We're about to show feet. Aw damn. Stick around. We're gonna show feet.
In between this show and last show, I went line dancing for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, dear friend of the channel, Luis Carrazzo, excellent line dancer.
Hot guy.
Two truths.
Two truths. He's
And
a
one
hot
lie.
he's a hot guy.
Uh-huh.
And also he played the hot version of Guy on Failed Save.
Ah, yeah.
Hot guy.
Yeah. I'm used to bringing up Luis and people just being like, damn.
Damn, hot guy.
Hot guy. Anyways, Luis was very kind and sent 2 videos to me preemptively for how to line dance.
Yeah.
And to 2-step.
2-step's pretty easy.
I had never done either. I realized I'd never even seen someone line dance. That's how Southern California I grew up. Never seen someone line dance.
Wow.
I was under the impression line dancing was one thing. So when he sent the video and I was having a busy day running around trying to accomplish things, I was like, it's fine. I'll figure it out when I get there. I didn't know that line dancing was, and it's not done in a line. It's really not.
No, it's a genre of dance.
Okay. So
it's not one dance.
So for those who don't know, I thought it would be like, here's a foot combination. Now you're line dancing. No. It's like 4 8 counts per line dance. And in one night, I saw 10 different line dances.
Yeah.
And they all just knew them.
Yep.
They would announce the name of the next line dance that you could do to any song.
Yep.
It was like 4 8 counts, y'all.
It's a lot of dancing.
I was a dancer. I looked at that and I went, fuck that. No.
That's a lot of choreography to learn.
I was not coming in ready to learn all that choreography.
It's 10 different routines. So you did poorly.
I did very poorly. And Luis was like, well, I hope that you'll come back. And I was like, I'm not sure if, I will come back to be clear, but I'm not sure if I'm coming back because I'm interested and I want to learn how to do this, or because I simply will not accept that I'm just bad at this.
No, you are the sort of person where it's like, oh, okay, I did poorly. I just need to show up once, do well, and then disappear and let the legend of me live on.
Yeah. So if you don't see me for a while, it's because I'm practicing 10 different 4/8 count line dance combinations. I had nothing appropriate to wear, but it's wild. People are so good.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a way of life.
But I also, hey, can I just?
It's like how you go to a goth club.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, we all know these songs.
But we don't have routines.
No.
We don't have routines. These
No.
were routines.
Goths do have a collection of moves, though.
Yeah, but you don't have to do them. It's vibes. It's all vibes. It's all vibes. However,
I
forgot.
Yeah.
I had a thing I was
You
gonna
should add
say.
some of this stuff to your water. You'll know everything.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
People who guessed that it was Mio were close.
You want to tell him?
It's gross Mio. It's like if you took, it's oh grosso Mio. It's a hydration thing because water apparently isn't hydrating enough.
Okay, all right.
And it's just salt. I think it's just salt. It's gross. Tastes sour. Makes everything taste worse. It's gross as hell.
But makes you more hydrated.
It's not like store brand Mio. It's like healthy Mio.
Healthy brand Mio.
Yeah, because Mio is just Kool-Aid for adults.
Totally.
Man, there's a great Curtis Connor video that we were talking about before we went live where he goes into like water talk, which is like people who just show that it's like, hey, everybody, here's the water of the day.
And it's like a sonic beverage.
Yeah, and they're just literally like, some of them are just pumping coffee syrups into water.
Yeah, they are.
Like raspberry coffee syrups. And they're like, this is my water today. Liquid IV. Yeah, it's kind of like that. They're just gross. They're just gross. Apparently the whole thing is like, there's a reason they created Gatorade. It's because you sweat out too much water when you're doing physical activity. And so if you have the Gatorade, it's supposed to help you like hold on to water in your body.
The solution is alligators.
Solution is alligators. The solution is alligators. They bite you and they roll with you until you don't know that you're in the world anymore.
Woo!
But it's disgusting. And I've been using it for like a whole week now, and there's always a sour taste in the back of my mouth. And it's not the metaphorical one. It's real.
Yeah.
It's not the one from Society, Saige. It's a real one now.
Yeah. I think at some point we should check out Purse Coffee TikTok. You seen Purse Coffee TikTok?
They just keep the little coffees in their purse?
Oh, Anthony. What a world I have to explore with you. Maybe on Wednesday.
It can't be, if it's called Purse Coffee TikTok, I know it can't be anything as normal as like people carrying around like coffee or something. I know it has to be something wild where it's like you go to Starbucks, you order a plain coffee, and then you bring everything you need for your dream coffee with you and do it there. Is that what's happening?
What if I told you that none of that was correct and it's actually extremely small coffees and cups?
Like little baby coffees? Oh, I like that so much more.
And that some people carry tiny blenders.
Like a little
baby blender?
like a little NutriBullet?
It looks like a full blender, but very small. Go in purse to blend coffee.
To blend coffee?
Yeah.
Are they making iced drinks out of their purse?
Yes.
No.
Honest to God.
No.
I can't wait. Are we saying fuck the stories we've got? You want
No, let me just bring up TikTok. No, I'm just looking for hashtag coffee talk.
It's not coffee talk because this is specifically purse coffee.
Hashtag
Here,
purse coffee.
I've actually got a perfect video to show you. Hold on. I've got a great example of one. Hold on. Just watch this. Okay, so this is what's in my purse.
Yeah.
A little blender.
No.
A little coffee.
No.
Yes.
That's goofs. This is goofs. I've thought about buying one of those.
Look at the size of it.
I know. I want one of the smaller ones.
Here's the thing. I can't tell if it's goofs.
This has got to be goofs.
I actually don't think it is.
This must be goofs.
Blending with the stevia. See it go?
Stevia has officially been designated cancerous.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Don't drink that.
pour one out into a tiny cup for
There's
stevia.
ice in there. And look, tiny cup, purse coffee. There's an entire community on TikTok that does that.
No.
This is
Oh my God, you're right.
This is purse coffee. This is where I keep some of my purse items and travel stuff.
What?
Just throw these in your bag and add milk or water.
Yeah, purse coffee.
They're so convenient.
Why are those convenient? Here's the thing. Instant coffee already came in like those little
And then
tube
these
packs.
Cute little gel pens.
I mean,
got
gel
this
pens are
one.
convenient.
This one's light roast, medium roast. It is dark.
Why
I'll
does
put
it go
them on
light
this
roast,
one.
medium roast,
This
dark
is
roast,
purse
gel
coffee.
pens?
This is where I keep some of my purse items and travel
It's
stuff.
like that old Harry Belafonte stuff.
Throw these in
Light
your bag,
roast, medium
add
roast,
milk or
dark
water.
roast pens. You know, from Beetlejuice.
Convenient.
Of course.
So many people ask me this. You can just. I found purse coffee.
This is just one woman.
Found everything for your bag. I find
This is just one woman over and
know if
over
it
again.
is.
No, it is. It's the same woman, Julie Kay. So far, it's just one woman.
Oh my God, that's really good. Y'all already know these are.
at the little
Why does she have a
fridge.
little fridge?
Everything's small. You could keep those in your normal fridge.
These in my bio. I found purse coffee. Just when you thought I found.
There's gotta be.
Hi guys, as requested.
Okay, so this is
So
different.
now I use
This is
my
Shauna.
Yeah.
Shauna does also do this,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna use.
and she keeps the little cups
Oh,
too.
I'm going to mute this because there's music on this one.
Yeah.
Now, this one goes into a full-size cup, which makes me think they're all supposed to be.
Oh, for sure. Julie put a full amount of caffeine into a single ounce of liquid.
I want to know so many things.
Dude, I want to know.
Like, why this? Also, she's at home.
Yeah. Well, those are just coffee pods. She's just using coffee pods to make
I
coffee.
know, but
Which, by
like-
the way, coffee pods are just the worst. But they taste the worst. They're the worst amount of waste. Purse coffee seems like a very wasteful thing
Yeah.
because it's all individual packages.
Yeah. But again, like they're like, whoa, purse coffee. Like those little individual packages that were like, you know, they're shaped like this.
Yeah.
That are instant coffee.
I just,
have existed for a long time.
and then I'm good for the day.
Yeah.
Or an
Directly
hour.
from the packet, like a pixie stick
Or an
up
hour.
your nose.
Like a pixie stick. Let's pack the mini purse. We're on a completely different,
That's an eyebrow razor.
Wavelength.
Why are you waving around a razor?
but this is Julie. This is mini coffee Julie.
Julie
but I
loves
guess,
tiny stuff. Julie
I guess
just
she
loves
puts a tiny purse in her regular size purse. It's literally,
micro purses were a thing for a second.
that's nano purse. That's
Look at all
beyond
the
micro.
individual plastics behind.
Everything
her.
she does is in an individually wrapped. Is that high heel full of liquid as flex? Is that some sort of thing we should know?
That is Carolina Herrera's Good Girl perfume.
Okay.
I only know because that's the perfume I wear.
So
but
it
not
is-
in the tiny size.
So it is kind of a flex.
It's pretty good. It smells pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, here's Diana Quintana, who also does purse coffee.
See, again, putting it into a normal size cup. But
Yeah.
also, you're at home. Why not make normal coffee? Why not normal coffee? Why not any coffee that isn't that one?
Listen, a tiny coffee is cute as hell. I understand this. What is that? There's so much of it.
It is board rich
Is that
people
just-
shit for sure.
Is that just coffee in
Yeah.
a tube?
Yeah.
Okay, I was worried that was the flavoring for the coffee. What kind of a tube is that? Is she just pre-making large amounts of coffee and then putting it into little tubes when she leaves the house? You could put all of the coffee into that cup. I don't understand what the point of the purse coffee is.
I don't know. They said you don't need this. when you have this. Oh, that's just a purse for your coffee.
Okay.
That's kind of nice.
That's kind of nice. Well, but can it actually hold it like a purse?
Yeah, that's another one of those things. It's purses for coffees. That's an ad. It's okay.
That's just an ad.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what all this is.
Now you know about purse coffee.
I don't know.
What are her purse must-haves? Let's see what Julie's
These
necessary must-haves are.
You gotta have a tiny caboodle. You gotta have, that's a medium roast. We know because it's orange.
Uh-huh. Oh, she's also got those ones that are like the like EpiPen style.
Yeah.
In addition to her other little coffees.
You can just, if somebody starts falling asleep at a meeting, you can just stim.
This isn't what's in your bag.
You just go, BD.
Okay, so she's got 2. Okay, I don't know what that last thing is. Okay, Tic Tacs.
That little rhinestone-y thing is a pill carrier.
Okay. Why is all this going in a fucking caboodle?
It's
This is a caboodle's gonna go in the purse? Okay, that's like a powder sponge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of those like I add this to my water and claim it's still water, but it's literally flavored after Starbursts.
Yeah. What's the little lippy? Is that just blotting paper?
I'm guessing so. Whoa, another caboodle in her caboodle.
No, don't do it.
The caboodle has a smaller caboodle in it.
It'll collapse in on itself.
Oh my God. Why do you carry around a razor?
Did you know?
What do you need to shave on the go?
Did it ever occur to you that you could put a smaller caboodle inside a larger caboodle?
What is that?
Why? No.
Is this the phone charger?
Did that ever occur to you?
No. Why would
she
it?
the first?
Why would it? Is this caboodle going to go in her purse, or is she carrying?
She didn't show herself closing that caboodle.
No,
I don't
believe it wasn't going to close. The bottle was standing up.
I don't believe that caboodle closed.
So is the caboodle the purse?
No, it goes inside a purse. 2 caboodles. She's also got a car purse.
Bro.
This is the car purse.
Look, I like little stuff. It's cute. Little stuff is cute.
We're seeing all kinds of new ways to express where you are on the spectrum thanks to the internet.
I love that.
And this is one of the most unique ones I've seen.
Okay, so she's literally making a purse perfume. But I do want to take it back just a second here.
Yeah, of course.
There was something else in there that she put in. It was another one of those, why would you ever need that? Go back before the perfume. Yeah, that roller there for your skin.
Skin
That's
roller.
typically something that you would like apply a moisturizer and then roll over it because people think that it makes it like penetrate better into your skin.
Right.
Why would you
like
need
the
to
little
do that on
micro
the go?
needling thing?
Yeah, but this one's like not needles. It's
Okay,
like
so it's worthless.
soft at edges.
Um,
Why would you need a razor and that on the go?
just in your car? I don't know. Just in case you want to
Roll in your skincare?
I don't know. Just get it tight in the car. You know what I mean? Like right before you leave.
In case you're trying to like get it right, get it tight?
Yeah, just like right before you leave the car. Maybe you're going to somewhere big, you take a look. Maybe she drives a lot for a living. I don't know what Julie does. I don't think I could even fathom what Julie does. I don't believe
Like,
I
what
could.
is that? Evian spray is one of the funniest things in the world to me. It's water spray.
No, I know, and it's stupid.
But people started buying it to spray over their makeup, and I'm like, hey, as an ex-makeup artist, I hate you.
That's just water.
You're just spraying your face with water. You can use it if you want to carry it, and it's like that's refreshing to you, but like terrible for your makeup.
And also, you could just get a spray bottle, and put water in it.
Correct.
Now
And
that's a light roast. That's 2 light roasts for the car.
Okay, her own toilet paper in addition to wipes. Hairbrush and comb.
I've seen TikToks where they do this with it.
Yeah. Okay, 2 different kinds of charger. Brow brush.
I was going to say Balenciaga. It's Bally song. But I was going to say where they flip it around like Balenciaga. There's only like a syllable or 2 difference.
Yeah.
But it's a world of meaning between
Yeah.
Balenciaga and Bally song.
Yeah, it is. Today's episode is kind of about social media in general, everybody. It wasn't initially going to be about tiny purse talk, but in general, things come and go on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Trends come and pass, and social media sites do too. And today,
But
we're
tiny
talking
coffee's
about
forever.
because it would appear we've maybe really, and we say this every month or so, but maybe really reached the end of Twitter.
It's looking that way. It is 100% looking that way, and we are we're of mixed mind on it.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk for a very long time, very in depth about what's been going on over on Twitter later on in the episode, because there's been a lot. It's been a very eventful weekend for Twitter.
It has.
But we want to start off by talking about some other stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that.
First of all, this news came out, and I lost my ding-dang mind. Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3, which is coming out. It's coming out.
One of these days.
Don't worry.
You may have thought it already did. It didn't.
No, you might think that it's already here, but Baldur's Gate is now apparently coming on. It was set to come out on August 31st, but now it's coming out on September 6th. Of course, it was originally set to come out, I don't know,
3 years ago?
17 years ago.
Yeah.
But they announced some things about Baldur's Gate that are kind of like, hey, just so you know, there's a reason why. And one of the reasons here is that the cinematic runtime of Baldur's Gate is more than double the length of all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. That's just the cinematics.
There's 6 seasons of Game of Thrones? Or 8?
8. People, we wish there were 6.
Huh. Why do I think there were only 6 seasons?
That's so much. The runtime, it says it's 3 times more cinematic dialogue than all of the Lord of the Rings novels combined. And compared to a long-running show such as Game of Thrones, the runtime for the latter is only 70 hours and 14 minutes, whereas Baldur's Gate 3 has 170 hours of cinematics.
Wild. Now, how do you feel about this, Anthony? Does this make you feel like they're justified in how long it's taking, or do you not just you just say fuck this?
When they announced this on Twitter, I retweeted it with it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It was like, it has 174 hours, and I was like, it shouldn't. And I actually got like a lot of flack from people. People were replying with like, yes, it should. It absolutely should, blah, blah, blah. No. 174 hours of cinematics is ridiculous. It's
a bit much.
It's indulgent. And here's my thing with it. The game has been in development for so long. There's been such a large team working on it for so long. And I know the cinematic team is different than the gameplay team is different. I understand
but the game can't come out until it's all done.
We understand how video game development works to a certain extent. This sounds to me like one of those things where you could have cut back the scope of Baldur's Gate and been done with Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
You could have probably cut down a lot of that stuff, change some of it to in-game, change some of it to even probably text dialogue for a lot of this stuff, and scope down Baldur's Gate and had it come out, and probably your team wouldn't have been working on it for so long. And listen, are people crunching on Baldur's Gate? I don't know, but I would imagine so. And we don't like that.
I don't know. Yeah, we can't
say
that's the case.
Yeah, we can't say it for sure, but I mean, this many delays and stuff, like team morale, it always gets a hit on something like that. And I just think like, I don't know. I feel like we've got another story coming up here that dovetails into it pretty nicely about the ballooning costs and the amount of work it takes to make a AAA game these days.
Yeah.
And it's just looking more and more bloated, and more like return on investment is tough, and more like this is unnecessarily tough on developers.
Yeah.
That's my first thought. I worry about the developers and the team.
Yes.
When I hear something like that. Is 174 hours of cinematics cool? I don't know. I defer to you as the larger Baldur's Gate person of the two of us.
I've been trying to figure out where my mind is on this, because part of me is like, whoa. And like almost wants to say like, that's very impressive and cool. Obviously you won't see most of them.
No.
You'd have to play the game over and over, and replayability is a great feature in a game.
Sure.
But I personally think I would have preferred way less. And then giving us like another game after.
Yeah, I think about if you have 5 different characters and they all get different cinematics depending on the path you take and what you do and all this stuff. I love the idea of it. I think the thing is we all love the idea of these huge, huge, huge games in theory. And I'm sure there are a percentage of players that actually do all of this stuff over a period of 500 hours or whatever, if it's their favorite game. But for me personally, if you've got 5 characters or even 3 characters in a game this huge, I'm probably only going to see one character's playthrough.
Yeah, I can't see myself in a big game. I'm not a big game like replay person. It's just there's too many games coming out for that.
Yeah, I would love to have shorter games. It's like the Sonic meme. You know what I mean? But I would rather have shorter games where I can actually play through as all 3 characters before I get bored of the game.
Yes.
And I'm not saying, and that's not saying anything about the quality of the game because we don't know. But what I do know
I'm saying the same thing as a Witcher 3 fan.
Yeah, but what I do know is even the greatest games, I'm just like,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more than is necessary and feels like a strange excuse to take so long on a game that people have already been paying $70 for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, because it's been in early access for so long. Like, I bought the game like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. According to Larian Studios, the cinematics aren't the only large figure attributed to the game.
I don't know what that means.
It means that the elves are all real thick now. No, it features a library of more than 600 spells and actions.
Okay, a lot.
So that's pretty huge.
This game might be sick as fuck.
It's probably going to be sick as fuck. I played a little bit of it in early access.
I played before my save got reset, and then I never went back to early access. I was like, I'll just wait.
And here's what I can tell you about it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I had a great time with it.
But I don't know if it's something that I'm going to spend 500 hours in, but it was pretty fun. Like, I'll co-op it with some people. Co-op seems like the most fun thing.
Yeah, a collection of numbers in the live studio audience said, so it's done now or soonish? Soonish. It is coming out in different places at different times between August and September.
PC is August 3rd. PlayStation 5 is August 31st.
Okay.
And I believe PlayStation 5 has a timed exclusive on consoles. So,
well, hey, I mean, speaking of timed exclusives on consoles.
Yeah, so let's dive into the FTC case with Microsoft and Sony. The gift that just keeps on giving.
Truly. When it's a holiday weekend and the internet says there is no news, the FTC says, we've got you, it's too early.
Yeah, so there are 2 things going on with the hearing recently. Number one, Microsoft's CEO said that it's Sony's fault that we have console exclusives. Satya Nadella said, oh no, the only reason there are console exclusives is because of Sony and PlayStation.
I mean, Sony and PlayStation love their exclusives.
But hey, that's not true. There have been console exclusives since the beginning of consoles.
Yes, most games were actually console exclusive.
Yeah, there was a lot of games that were literally the reason Nintendo created the NES was to play a perfect game of Donkey Kong so they would no longer have to license their games to other consoles.
Yeah, most Nintendo, like all Nintendo-based games, like actually made by Nintendo games, are console exclusives.
Back in the day of 4-bit, in the 2-bit and 4-bit era, Atari had different games than Coleco had, than Commodore had, and there were games that were across every single platform, but there were some that were exclusive. That's just the way it worked. It seemed like there weren't exclusives because there were bootlegs. And
just because it's like, you didn't really have multiple consoles at the time, so you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, yeah, I mean, of course that game's only on NES. What else would it be on?
Yeah, what else? There was like one guy in my neighborhood, Andy, who had a Sega Master System. He was the only one who had a Sega Master System.
Nice.
And I remember like going to his house to play video games was like a door to an alternate reality. Because video games were just so different. You played on the Sega Master System and you were like, I don't think this is how video games work.
It's almost like my NES, but not.
But not. It's different and weird. This is like the most ridiculous thing. So Satya said, if it was up to me, I would love to get rid of the entire exclusives on consoles, but that's not for me to define, especially as a low share player in the console market. The dominant player there, Sony, has defined market competition using exclusives, so that's the world we live in. I have no love for that world.
Satya,
you sneaky.
Satya,
you sneaky man.
I apologize.
That's wild. Microsoft, over the last 5 to 10 years, has made a long game play to buy up key studios that give them theoretically more exclusives than anybody else.
Yeah.
So
it's
Arcane,
all in this thing of being like, well, we don't even want Call of Duty to be exclusive. So much so that we even hate that there are exclusives.
we just want to give everything away to people. That's what capitalism is about. Why can't we be nice?
We just want to be a monopoly.
It's the other competition.
It's not our fault.
So let's
we
talk
want to
about
be a very generous monopoly.
Let's talk about Microsoft and exclusives. Let's talk about how Microsoft started off by buying Bungie and removing their upcoming Mac exclusive game, Halo, from the Macintosh, causing Steve Jobs to do one of his famous angry screaming phone calls to the other executives of the other companies, and turned Halo into the first Microsoft exclusive.
Yep.
And since then, Microsoft has been on such a tear for the entire time they've been console makers, but particularly in the last generation. You know, you look at Arcane. Arcane was building Redfall for everything. Now, did we lose much there? No, we did not.
Sure.
But Machine Games, Indiana Jones, that was being developed for every platform.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bethesda, the hugest.
Literally Bethesda.
How can Satya Nadella, and I can tell, well, I'll tell you how. I'll answer my own question after I ask it. How can Satya Nadella sit in front of the FTC and say shit like this and think that he's going to get away with it? And the answer is they don't understand video games. And so he's relatively sure he's going to get away with it.
And probably is going to get away with it. I think the other thing is, too, rich people don't care about the truth.
No, that's big. We did forget that rich people don't care about the truth.
Like, it just didn't matter. Like, how could you get out there and tell a lie?
Do you know what happens if I tell a lie? They fine me.
Wipe a tear with the money and then hand it to the FTC.
Yeah, it's like when I heard that $250,000.
Yeah.
$250,000 has been a very popular number recently because of billionaires trying to sink themselves at the bottom of the ocean. And everybody was like, $250 million, like, how do they do, or $250,000, how do they do that? And when you work out the math, $250,000 actually works out to you or me buying an iced coffee.
Yeah,
like, it genuinely, mathematically, it does. If you make $50,000 a year and your iced coffee costs $7, it's the same as a billionaire paying $250,000 to go into a submarine. That's why they don't care. So when they sit and they do these things, and they literally have lawyers that look and they go, okay, well, if you say this and this happens, there's going to be this kind of fine. So we would have to pay that. Do I have authority to pay that fine? Yes. Okay, great. Now we're going to break this law too. If I break this law, it's going to cost this much. Is that okay with you? Okay, great.
Yes.
And that's literally what they sit in the room doing.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, man. Tell me something.
I watched the movie Titanic this week.
Yeah.
Last week now.
Yeah. First time.
Well, here's the thing. It was one of our mutual friends' first time. They'd never seen the movie Titanic. I open up our streaming services, and one of the most searched for things right now is the movie Titanic.
Yeah, of course.
And our friend goes, I've never seen Titanic. So naturally, we had to watch Titanic.
Yeah.
Objectively hilarious that the first 20 minutes of the movie is like the submarine and like the part of it. And they keep making comments that are just like, yeah, I mean, if this thing wasn't really well built, we'd be absolutely vaporized in seconds.
Yep.
the first like 20 minutes of the movie is a like submarine exploration of it. And it's very funny. And I forgot about it.
Oh, yeah. That's the whole framing device because James Cameron loves to build submarines.
Yeah.
It's been very funny to watch. Like, Titanic wind up rising through the most searched things. Submarine-themed video games have been selling very well lately.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
that's funny.
Like, there's been a boost in sales of Subnautica and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody is either interested or thinks they're funny. You know what I mean? Because of the news. And hey, baby, you could be both. I don't care. But this is just the first thing that happened over the weekend that has to do with the Microsoft and Sony spat. And let me just say this. As time goes on, we are framing this more and more. And by we, I mean everybody. We are framing this more and more as a Microsoft against Sony thing. And it's important to remember that that's not actually what's happening.
Nope. There is actually no legal battle between Microsoft and Sony.
This is an antitrust hearing. Sony is just the only company that is going up against Microsoft heavily in this hearing. And so
Sony's just supporting the movement.
Yeah,
Sony's just back there like, yeah, get them.
Yeah, Sony's just...
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah, Sony's just here for the workers. Until they stop this. And then Sony goes back to being number one in video games again.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that came out was we were talking about these improperly redacted documents.
Yeah.
Some of these came out last week. Some of them are out now. And as people are combing through them, I don't know how much this is going to, after the crunch of video compression, but you can sort of see through the marker here. It's not redacted well. And so one of the things that happened is official numbers and figures about how much video games cost came out. So, and how long they take. So, first of all, Horizon Forbidden West, we now know, took 5 years in development, starting in 2017, and cost $217 million to develop.
Jesus.
That video game cost $217 million.
That's too many dollars.
The Last of Us Part 2 took longer than 5 years. It took 70 months, so almost 6 years. And it cost $220 million and took 200 full-time employees. This is why the meme exists. I want to see smaller video games with worse graphics that cost less and treat their workers better.
All I want to play is Henry Halfhead.
$220 million to make one video game.
Y'all are making all these games. All I want to play is Story of Seasons and Henry Halfhead.
With $220 million, obviously, you're starting at a place where a huge number of copies has to be sold just to break even.
Yeah. You've created a system that has to repeatedly gouge the customer in order to fulfill what you've done to yourself. Games don't have to cost that much. Good games cost less.
At $220 million divided by a $60 price point for most retail games, it is going up to $70 now, but $60 for most retail games, you're talking about 3.66 million copies to break even. 3.66 million. Now, here's where I start questioning, and I'm not a business person. I don't know what's up. But this is what I start to question. If the console is a loss leader to sell the games,
yes,
but then the games are a loss leader to sell the console,
video game's gonna die?
where money?
Video game just gonna die?
Money Henry Halfhead?
I'm telling you.
I don't know. And that's the Jorlu brings up that may not include marketing costs. We may not be, the document doesn't go into it.
Wild. Capitalism is actually very bad and doesn't encourage any level of innovation. So there's that. It's one of those things that like pro-capitalist people say all the time of like, the capitalism breeds innovation. It literally doesn't. If things got more efficient and less expensive to do, it would just go to 1% of people.
We are, that's what this entire court case is supposed to functionally be about, is the buying up of all these studios, the consolidation of everything, the corporate consolidation of everything that stifles innovation because why would you innovate if you don't need to? You don't have competition.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before. And when we saw the strongest antitrust laws and the strongest pro-union laws in the United States, we saw economic growth and income equality that we have literally never seen. Whereas now, as corporate strength has been consolidating and antitrust laws and corporate oversight has been eroding, we are now back at a level of income inequality between the 1% and the working class that we haven't had since like right before
the Great Depression.
The Great Depression.
Yeah.
Like it's right there.
And that's 1% of people against the entire working class. Like that's not like, oh, a person in the working class versus a person in the 1%. That's the money in the 1% versus an additional like 70% of people in the lower class.
So when they're like, profits aren't high enough.
Yeah.
We need to lay people off after profits and stock values are at an all-time high.
Yeah.
This is why. There's no more grist for the mill. There's no more coal to shovel into their machine.
Yep.
And that's why, but they're hungry. They're so hungry, Saige. They want more.
Yes.
But there's no more. They already have all. And so when a company like Microsoft or even Sony's been doing this too. Every large game publisher has been doing this, has been trying to consolidate and buy up studios. That's why this sort of thing needs to be stopped in every industry. It just has to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everything is going to collapse. Which brings us to our big story for the day.
Nice.
Hey, y'all on Twitter?
Or were you?
You ever been on Twitter?
.com?
.com, .org, .net, .co.uk?
Now, look, you all know Twitter has fallen to hell over the course of the last few months since the acquisition by Elon Musk. It's very funny. I even, when Elon Musk bought it, was like, he's probably gonna have like a month or so of doing dumb shit, and then he's probably gonna forget about it and move on to the next thing. I didn't think, as much as I was like, fuck, I don't want to be on Elon Musk's Twitter because I fucking hate Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think he's gonna kill Twitter. Like, I don't think he'll care enough to kill Twitter. I don't think he'll be involved enough to kill Twitter.
We thought, number one, he didn't really want to buy it. It was a flex.
Yes.
And then he was basically taken to court and was told, like, you have to buy it.
Hey,
you publicly entered into this and you made an offer.
Yeah.
And you are fucking with the entire economy if you don't do this.
But hey, remember when he also did that and said that he would end world hunger?
Yeah. He loves just a goof, a jape. He loves to just make a little guffaw by saying like, hey, if anybody can show me how 40 billion or $2 billion would end world hunger, I'll do it. And then the World Health Organization was like, we got you. Here you go. And he said, I don't believe it.
I hate this man. And I want you to know it's 2023. It's hot girl summer. We're wishing ill on people again.
Now, he did buy it. He had to. He has really over leveraged himself.
Yeah.
He about $40 billion or whatever. And it just not make money. Not to the level that he needs to make a return on his investment. And so
because he bought it for an absolutely fucking bananas amount of money.
Yeah, he went absolutely wildly silly.
Yeah.
He did wildly silly. And the thing is, he immediately, as we know, started slashing employees and also slashing the number of bills that he was going to pay. And this is all, we'll detail some of this, but this all kind of came to a head this weekend when Elon Musk tweeted out, to address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. Verified accounts are limited to reading 6,000 posts a day, unverified to 600 posts a day, and new unverified to 300 posts a day. What does this mean? This means that Twitter's data usage was through the roof.
Yep.
And they said that it was because extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation. Now, okay.
Now,
let's say that's true.
Yeah.
Let's say that's true.
It's not, but let's say it is.
Let's say that's true. Well, I would say that that's probably because you slashed 80% of your staff and said that they were redundant.
Yeah.
Now,
all the security that went away.
Because security and engineering would be able to tell you that you can see on the back end where a lot of your data usage is coming from.
Yes.
You can see like, oh, this particular IP address, this software, this person. Yeah. You can see where huge spikes in data usage are coming from.
Yeah.
They could simply rate limit or turn off data usage for those accounts. And an ex-Twitter engineer said as much.
Yeah.
An ex-Twitter engineer was talking on Mastodon and said, hey, data scraping was like the worst kept secret. It was something we didn't talk about, but it was like a necessary evil of doing business.
Sure.
We were fine with the amount of data scraping because it made us useful. We just didn't document how to do it, and we didn't support it if you were doing it.
Yeah.
But you can do it. It was never a problem for us. So people said, fuck is going on?
Yeah.
When they could. Most of us were trying to say the fuck is going on, and then we would get rate limit exceeded.
The first time I hit my rate limit, the morning that this happened, I just want to show you the tweet because it shows you what your last tweet is. And this is Sarah Shower. And it says, what if your tweet was the last one someone saw for the entire day? Big boobies, pendulous knockers, breastfeeding. Which, as you can see directly below, was my last tweet of the day.
Nice. Hell yeah.
On Saturday, I scrolled by that and went, by God, they did it.
They fucking did it.
You fucking did it.
Amazing.
But this is ridiculous. And the way that he's doing it, when you're like, yeah, we could have just limited it for these people, sure. But how does that encourage people to sign up for Twitter Blue?
Yeah.
We want people paying for Twitter Blue. And I just got to say it. You know what? I hated it in the beginning. I love the verified tab now because it lets me know who's a fucking dork.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things, shout out to friend of the show, Alana Pierce. Alana, on any one of her tweets that starts getting traction, mutes the replies or invisibles the replies from anybody with a check mark.
Hell yeah.
Because they all rise to the top.
Yeah.
And so she's like, you will not be the first people to discuss this.
Correct.
You will not get to pay to be the first people to discuss this.
Yep.
The paying for Twitter Blue is just like another one of these things that Elon has done that is so ridiculous. He just spouts nonsense. He comes from this. There's this particular type of oligarch that has come into fashion in the United States in the last 10 years that just understands how they can just scream misinformation and then correct it later, and the correction is so much more quiet. And so they're just like, well, I just get to be loud and be first.
Yes.
If I'm loudest and first, that's what people believe.
And it's okay if I'm wrong.
It's okay if I'm wrong because I'll just say I'm wrong later, and then only 1% of the people will see that I was ever wrong, and they'll just believe this. He's said things like Microsoft was illegally using Twitter's data and that it was lawsuit time. And it's like, it's an open API.
Yeah.
They're paying the rates that you said that they had to pay for their API. No one's stealing your data, dude.
No.
One of the things that was absolutely hilarious about this is Twitter earlier this week tried to block off in addition to these accounts and rate limit everybody, they were also like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make sure that if you're not logged into Twitter, you can't see anything. If you're unregistered, you can't just scrape our data and display it on your site, and that'll teach you. Except, hey, do you know what you block when you do that? You block Google. You block Google, you absolute maniac. You absolute bonkers maniac.
So these are the things to me that push over that edge where we're like, no, this is really probably it. This is really probably the end
This
of
has
Twitter.
got to be like, okay, not only when you block third party, not logged in access, you block Google search, you block embedding tweets.
Yeah.
You block linking to tweets.
Yeah.
Twitter cards were broken in tons and tons of news outlets. And here's the thing, Twitter cards, those little embedded tweets that people use, they don't have to use those. Journalism, they don't have to use those. They use those because it's easy and fast through the Twitter API, and it's kind of a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
If you're reporting and somebody said something on Twitter, it's nice to tag them on Twitter, and it's nice to send the traffic to Twitter if that's where you got some of your initial reporting. This is actually a cool thing that journalists do.
Yeah.
They don't have to. They could just as easily use a screenshot or a quote. And
they're crediting the account who posted the information.
this is giving credit and traffic to the source, which is Twitter. Twitter just literally got rid of all that. In addition to the rate limiting, which is basically saying like, hey, I'm going to sell cotton candy.
Yeah.
People love cotton candy.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to sell cotton candy. And I want to sell as much cotton candy as I can.
Yeah.
But you can only have one.
I'm like, but I have all this money. I'd like to get some more cotton candy.
No, you can only have one cotton candy.
You know what else
Why
it is,
won't
though?
people? I have so much candy floss. I have so much of this mix, and it's going bad. Why is it going bad? You already had your cotton candy. Get the fuck out of here.
But like in addition to that, it's like you gave me a whole cotton candy and you said you can only have one bite. And I'm just there like, but I have, but I bought a cotton candy.
Yeah.
But I've been buying cotton candy here for 10 years.
I know. And I've noticed that you are buying too much cotton candy
Isn't
from
that
me.
what you want?
I do. I actually need cotton candy to be incredibly profitable. Otherwise, I'll lose everything I have. So you had your bite for the day. Fuck off.
It's wild. Genuinely, when the first tweet came out about the rate limit, I was like, that's not fucking real. That's not really going to happen. That can't be real. You're not really going to monitor and limit how many tweets I can see. Because here's the thing too, like, not only is it about like, oh, you can spend less time on Twitter. You stop getting the newest, most topical things, which is the entire point of Twitter.
Right. And if you're not getting those new topical things and there's nothing new to see,
Yeah.
how are you going to serve me ads, which is the only way Twitter makes money?
And dude, we had an earthquake 2 nights ago. No, 1 night ago, 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago in Los Angeles, we had an earthquake. The first thing you do when you feel a shake is you to open up Twitter to be like, was that an earthquake?
Is that an earthquake?
I was at my rate limit. I couldn't find out if it was an earthquake.
Who knows? Who knows?
I was at my rate limit and I opened it up to be like, let me see if anyone tweeted that that's an earthquake.
This is what's crazy. This is what's absolutely crazy about it to me is what you just said means that Elon is partially right. We go to Twitter first. Twitter is important.
Yes.
But if you just don't let us do it anymore, we will very quickly figure out what the alternative is.
Yeah.
Like, you are not doing a power play that shows us how important Twitter is. What you are doing is showing us like, oh, I should probably
go somewhere else.
I should go somewhere else. Twitter isn't reliable.
Lanky Dragoon said, my ADHD is too strong for me to read 600 tweets a day. Here's the thing. You don't even have to read them. They just have to have been in your feed.
Yeah.
It preloads a bunch of things.
So here's the thing. People wonder, what's going on? Why is all of this happening? And it can't be the rate limits. I mean, it can't be the data usage, the scraping. No. I mean, obviously part of it has to do with the fact that they ditched 80% of their staff. And
yeah, so they can't do nothing good anymore.
So, they're on maintenance mode basically.
Yeah.
But what else? What's the core issue here?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And the answer is Elon Musk hasn't paid a single goddamn bill since he has taken over Twitter. He has taken the billionaire position of, I'm not paying until they renegotiate with us. This is such a thing that, and it's not even billionaires. I used to work at a real estate office in Brooklyn. And there was the guy who owned the real estate company also owned the restaurant that I was the manager of. And this guy would do business in a way I absolutely was appalled by. He was one of those people where like the delivery of food would show up and the person would hand trucks and put all the boxes out and like unload them and everything. And like just take a bunch of time and then hand over the invoice to sign. And he'd look at it and be like, that's too much. I'm not paying that. He was the kind of guy that would do this to everybody every week. This is too much. I'm not paying it. Wait, no, call somebody because I'm not paying this. This is too expensive. Buddy, you ordered it. You ordered it. Elon Musk nearly got Twitter kicked out of their San Francisco headquarters.
Yeah, they were facing eviction.
They had not paid rent in San Francisco or Boulder, two of their major offices, for months.
Yes.
For months. And it's important to note here, in Boulder and San Francisco, Twitter got extremely long-term deals where they simply were not paying taxes.
Yes.
This is a thing. You've probably seen this in headlines. This is a thing where large corporations go, well, we're going to build a big fancy place and employ a lot of people in a city, but we just don't know where. Yeah. Do any cities want to tell us how cool their city is? It's just like, I just picture Madonna in the Material Girl video. Just like all these people just like handing them diamonds and just being like, oh, I don't know which diamonds I want.
Think they're okay.
I don't know which diamonds I want. These diamonds aren't enough diamonds. Who has the most diamonds? And basically it's like, well, you don't have to pay city taxes here if you move to San Francisco for 10 years.
Yeah.
We promise you don't have to pay city tax or employee tax for 10 years. And so they move there.
Yeah.
And then when those incentives are up, they go, this is too expensive. And it's like, motherfucker, you ordered the food.
Yeah.
You ordered the delivery. You signed the contract. You made the deal.
Yeah.
And if you didn't personally sign the contract and make the deal, Elon, you bought the business. That was part of your due diligence.
Yes.
Somebody on your team said, by the way, these tax incentives are up in X amount of time. Know that when you buy this company. And he's simply not paying any of this stuff. And one of the biggest ones, and the reason for all of this, now this is not entirely verified, but Zoe Schiffer and Casey Newton, two reporters that Elon Musk absolutely fucking hates.
Hell yeah.
He hates Zoe Schiffer so much because she's the lady part of the reporting.
Be the kind of person that Elon Musk would hate.
That's just a woman. Or be one of his children. I don't know if he hates all children, but I know that he hates his children. So, they have not paid their Google Cloud bill.
That's pretty big.
They have not paid their Google Cloud bill. That's their hosting. Now, there's also rumors that they are not paying Amazon AWS. And listen, Twitter and Elon, they're big.
Not that big.
They're not so big that they can take on Amazon and Google.
They're not as big as Amazon or Google independently.
Yeah.
Much less both.
So Twitter hosts some services on its own servers, but they've contracted with Google and Amazon for a very long time to complement their infrastructure.
Yeah.
A lot of their trust and safety stuff runs on external servers. A lot of companies do that because they don't want questionable content on their own servers. The company signed a multi-year contract with Google to host services related to fighting spam, removing child sexual abuse material, and protecting accounts with Google. Multiple year accounts. Amazon Web Services also is where they run a lot of their API and advertising service stuff from.
Yeah.
Which probably explains why this rate limiting is happening so aggressively, as they also are not wanting to pay Amazon.
Yep.
Amazon, by the way, in response to this, said, we're just going to remove all advertising from your platform. We will never advertise on Twitter unless you pay your bill.
Correct.
Which, motherfucker, how many Amazon ads do people get on Twitter every day? Especially now that most advertisers have pulled out.
Yeah.
How many ads do you get from Amazon every day that are just like, we think you might like this.
It's all my ads.
We think you might like this weird sponge.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I like a weird sponge? They're like, we don't know, man. We're just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks.
And it sometimes does.
Sometimes it does.
I have an idea. We love to say eat the rich, and we mean it, and we truly mean it. And don't fucking say it if you're not ready to do it. Do you understand? When we say eat the rich, we don't just mean the ones you don't like. We mean them all.
We mean all of them. All of them.
A lot of people that are like, oh, but I like this rich person.
It's like
when it's time, it's time.
It's like the TikTok that says, repeat after me, all cops are bastards, and it starts showing fictional cops that we all love.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't do that.
But hear me out. What if the rich ate each other?
Like a cage match? Are you talking about the cage match? Winner eats the loser?
Yeah, but with more fun consequences.
What if we all rose up and put all of the billionaires into a Fall Guys style situation?
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
But they're not wacky bean people, they're regular people.
Yeah, and when they fall, they die.
When they fall, they fall. You're out.
Of life.
Yeah. And then all their money gets split up amongst charities.
Yeah, I don't think that cage match is happening, by the way.
No, that cage match is not happening.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. There's just a couple of, just a weird Magoo and a lizard person posturing at each other.
Yeah.
On fucking social media.
And then Kodoroku said, do we get to eat the winner? Yes.
If you eat their heart, you take their bank account.
No, we redistribute the wealth.
No, you take it and then you redistribute it.
Okay.
But
Rachel Isabel said, can we have a Hunger Games style arena for the rich?
Well, that's a great idea, but Nathan and the Indecider are reminding us that Elon's mom said he can't fight.
Yeah.
Elon's mom said he's not allowed to fight.
Yes.
He would have fought. He wanted to fight, but Elon's mommy said we can't. She said he was going to fight, and then he was like, you're so lucky that my mom is picking me up today.
Yeah.
You're so lucky, because if my mom wasn't waiting right there, my mom's in the carpool line. I don't know what she's doing there early today, and I usually take the bus.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Probably something important. It's probably something important that I need to deal with, but my mom's here, so I can't fight you today.
But
if I would mop the floor with you, buddy. I would take the weird sponge that I bought from Amazon, and I would clean up the fucking...
I'm just saying, let them eat each other. They're the last one into a volcano.
Have you jumped to other social networks?
You know, I've downloaded all of them and made my accounts on all of them, but I have not actually jumped. It's very interesting because, like, we've seen a lot of social media sites come and go, but it's hard to let go of when you've been on for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. It's weird to think about.
Yeah, actually longer, because wasn't Twitter 2009?
Yeah, I'm not used to...
Let me see, I can see, I think, if it still has that.
I mean, obviously no one is. This is the first time in human history. Not used to being on websites for this long. I'm used to them folding within a couple of years, and then you move to the new hotness.
Yeah.
And we haven't done that in so long.
We haven't done that. So I've been on Twitter for 14 years.
Wow.
That's my Twitter join date. I have been on Twitter for 14 14 years.
You're only 19 years old.
I know.
That's wild. All right, you're cool. All right, you're all cool.
Yeah. 14 years is a long time. When you look at these other sites, it's like, that makes it very hard to transition. We've seen a lot of sites come and go in that like 4-year mark. I think of like how many of us talk about the sites that we've loved, and none of them have ever made it this long. So this is a strange transition process. I've got Hive. I've got Blue Sky.
Yeah.
I made a Mastodon account, but I've never used it.
Mastodon reported this week that they got 100,000 new active users over the last couple weeks. It can't be Mastodon. Mastodon is too clunky.
Yeah.
If it becomes Mastodon, I'm going to be like, I'll go there. I'll go where everybody is, I guess. But
Obi said Saige has been on Twitter around half her life. Yeah. I'm 27.
Yeah.
That's a little more than half my life.
You got to scrub your old tweets. I don't know what they are, but I can tell you,
I have.
You have to.
I did.
Okay, good. I don't know what they are, but they gotta go.
Yeah, I was 13 when I got a Twitter.
You gotta. I'm lucky because all of the social media from when I was younger was either a can tied to a string, or has gone out of business.
Yeah.
But it was mostly just a can tied to a string.
What about you? Have you moved on to others?
I'm on the Blue Sky, but I'm not really using it. I had such hopes for Hive, but they couldn't handle their success.
I haven't been back on Hive since the last time it went down, since the big down of Hive.
Yeah, and then the people who are running to Tumblr, because Brit JK is saying there are a lot of people running to Tumblr. Tumblr isn't the same.
No.
Like, Tumblr isn't...
It never will be.
Yeah, Tumblr I think of as, even though it doesn't have to be, I think of Tumblr as a more... There's more effort on Tumblr. Does that make sense? Like, you put a little... Like, there's a little more work put into...
I view Tumblr as a curation space.
Yes.
Tumblr is all about curating, whereas Twitter was about sharing.
Yes. And it's quick sharing, which Tumblr, because of the curation and because of all that stuff, is just like a little more, you got to think a little bit more. And I don't think it's going to replace it. Mastodon has too much of a kludgy setup.
Yes.
I think Blue Sky and Hive were the two close ones.
Yeah.
Blue Sky, if they can survive the next few weeks, the problem is the
Blue Sky's currently down, not accepting new applications.
The problem is the Jack Dorsey of it all. I don't trust Jack Dorsey any farther than I can throw him. And he's pretty skinny these days because of his weird lifestyle.
And so you could throw him pretty far.
I could throw it, but I can't, but I'm also very weak. I'm medically sleepy.
Got it. Hive was the one I was most hopeful for.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I accept that all social media that I'm going to use, whether it be like, we go on Twitch and YouTube or our day-to-day social media, all of them are going to be owned by the wealthiest people in the world. So when it comes to the Jack Dorsey of it all, I'm like, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
That really does suck. And it is inescapable.
I don't know. I don't know what something will eventually rise to take its place. There will be a dominant form of quick to share social media.
There has to be.
It's simply a functionality that is too
fundamental,
easy and valuable and fundamental to the way we use the internet and the way we share things today. I don't know if it's going to be one of these ones, because I backed so many of these horses. I
thought MySpace would never die. I was clinging to MySpace when people were moving on. Now, I was always an early adopter. I was on Facebook as soon as it opened up beyond college.
Yeah.
I was on Twitter as soon as I could get on Twitter.
Yep.
I like to be an early adopter of social media, but like I really was. People kept moving to Facebook and I was like, guys, you can't even have a background. Stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't even do HTML on Facebook.
Nothing here is blinking.
What the fuck, guys? That's so boring.
I have not turned the animated cursor into a little cat chasing the cursor around.
I was trying to get all my friends to come back to MySpace.
It's a top 16 now. It's not as hard. It's not as tough as it used to be. It's a top 16,
I loved it.
Look, there were a lot that we there were a lot that we loved.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about some of the social media platforms that we cared about, that we loved, and that we supported throughout the years.
And a little bit of history as we go through some of the people we've lost along the way.
Yeah.
6degrees.com was the first, is considered to be the first actual social media site. That launched in 1997.
When no one was on the internet.
And shut down in the year 2000.
When everybody got on the internet.
Correct.
So I would say it's a little bit of a wrong place, wrong time for 6 Degrees.
Yeah.
One of the first ones that I remember was Makeout Club.
Yeah.
Makeout Club was another one that was around from the 90s. And Makeout Club was very interesting in that this is what Makeout Club looked like.
Yeah, let's go on the way back machine.
Makeout Club was basically you posted one photo of yourself. And then you posted your interests and then your aim and your ICQ.
Yeah.
And the wild thing about Makeout Club was everybody was listed in order that they signed up.
Yeah.
So when you went to the Makeout Club site, the first person who signed up for Makeout Club was the first person you saw.
Yeah.
So people who signed up early were just by default the most popular people on Makeout Club.
Yeah.
And they would just like meet the most people and make the most friends. Now it's called Makeout Club and it was kind of like wink, wink, joke, joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like, oh, we're all going to make out. Although.
You ever make out with anybody off Makeout Club?
Yes.
Really? That you knew exclusively from Makeout Club?
Yeah. Met somebody on Makeout Club. You would search your city in Makeout Club and just be like, hey, what are you up to?
So I was never on Makeout Club. I was a little too young for Makeout Club. Oh my God. Hey, whoa. I was trying to see if it still existed, but this is a clothing brand now.
Yeah.
I was trying to see has anybody archived it and put it up. It's even hard to pull up on the way back machine.
No, it's tough because it was all static. It was all like static pages.
Yeah.
That just like if you didn't back them up, they're gone.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Another very early one was Hot or Not. Hot or Not was of a comparable idea. I think it was foundational to the swiping system that we have on dating apps now.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, where you would go through and you would vote on a single photo if someone was hot or not. And that was it. That launched in the year 2000.
Now, there wasn't a ton of social interaction there.
No.
Makeout Club was very much I'm leaving my contact info. And even though it was kind of decentralized in the way that you would contact people, it was a social network.
Yes.
Hot or Not was basically just the first time this bullshit reared its ugly head.
Yes.
But everybody volunteered.
It was really rough. This is a very rough thing.
Everybody
but it was
volunteered.
very popular.
Do you remember people would put other people's photos up on Hot or Not? And then hey, I put you on Hot or Not.
Horrible.
Nightmarish.
Now, Hot or Not was actually said to have inspired Facebook.
Yep.
For those who don't know, Facebook was actually initially supposed to be a dating website.
Yeah. It was just for people in college. Mm-hmm. And you would just put yourself up what college you were part of and you would meet people from your college. Because these dudes couldn't get laid.
Yeah.
Watch The Social Network.
There you go. Do you want to meet him? Yes or no?
So weird.
Wild. Yeah, so that didn't last very long, and I can't imagine why. I wonder why that wasn't a long time sustainable one. It was sold a few times around, and currently still actually exists in a form as an app called Chat and Date.
But it exists in the same way that MySpace exists now, where it's
yeah, but some of these things don't exist at all.
Right.
And Hot or Not has somehow continued to be sold off to continue existing.
It's
wild. A little cockroach.
Mm-hmm. One of the other early ones that I was on was called Text America.
What was Text America?
Text America was really wild. They called them Moblogs.
Yeah.
It was basically a very early version of Instagram.
Mm.
And what you would basically do is as I have always been a gadget dork, I had I had a T-Mobile Sidekick. Mm-hmm. I had the Sidekick color.
Nice. Flex.
You would take pictures and just post them to your Moblog, and it was just a feed of pictures.
Right, blogging.
And you could put a little caption and follow other people. And they actually, years of my life, I actually put on Text America, and like a lot of my photos were only on Text America, and they just disappeared, went under.
Oh man.
And if you didn't see the one email they sent out, you didn't get to back up your stuff. And so like years of my life are just gone.
I had that happen to me with my Photo Bucket account.
Yeah.
Where like they were either purging out old accounts or getting rid of Photo Bucket or something, and all my Photo Bucket photos went away. In 2002, there was Friendster. Were you on Friendster?
I was
on Friendster.
I was on Friendster. I remember I was interning at a design house.
Mm-hmm.
Like a multimedia design house is what it was called, because people still didn't know what computers were.
Yeah.
And,
Friendster was big in 2003 mostly.
Yeah. And in 2002, one of the guys that was on the coding part of the team was like, hey, you got to sign up for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is he? He's like, look, and you can make all these friends and like blah, blah. I was like, oh my gosh, this is wild.
Yeah.
This is so good. Yeah, I'll do this. And then it was gone.
2003 launched MySpace. Obviously, MySpace, one of the most infamous of all time, to this day has been my favorite social media platform ever. Was incredibly fundamental to my development.
Was MySpace really 2003?
That's when it launched. That was not the peak of MySpace by any means.
No. But I mean, I thought it was earlier for some reason.
Yeah. 2005 was the peak of MySpace. Now, 2005 aligns a little better for me timing-wise of actually using social media and the internet, even though I was definitely still too young to be on it. But for a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of millennials say they learned to code for MySpace.
Yeah.
You'll hear a lot of people reminisce. I would love to know from all of you, what was your MySpace song? I'll show my whole ass, and I'll say, like I probably would have on MySpace had I been a little older. The two I remember were Don't Trust Me by 303.
Oh my gosh.
And My Black Dahlia by Hollywood Undead.
Yeah, that tracks.
Somehow, the first one was the better one. I also alternated out when Starstruck by 303 came out. I fucking loved 303. I was just having a real 303 time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was the peak of MySpace. It was just a time. It definitely tracks. I would love to know what your MySpace songs were. Were you on MySpace? But I think MySpace was very interesting in
my
that
profile's still there.
Whoa.
I mean, it's cleaned out because I haven't done anything.
That's the case for most people.
But my profile is still there.
I will not be showing.
Wow. It says it's Brooklyn, New York.
So many of the BBs were not on MySpace.
Good.
Isn't that interesting?
I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace because my dad thought I'd be kidnapped.
You might have been.
You might have been.
MySpace was not a good, safe place.
Somebody was.
But like MySpace created the first internet celebrities.
Yes.
The first influencers came from MySpace.
Your Tila Tequila.
Your Jeffree Star.
Your Jeffree Stars. And so you can see by what we're saying that MySpace wasn't good.
Both of them ended up being Nazis. Isn't that wild?
So weird.
Like literally both of them.
Just terrible people.
Isn't that weird?
I think they were both from Florida too.
How interesting. Well, I'll tell you that when Jeffree Star was at the peak, he actually lived in Orange County, California.
Right.
So I used to
the Florida of the West.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an Orange County in California and there's an Orange County in Florida, so it makes sense. So you used to be able to go to the mall and run into Jeffree Star.
Sure.
At the Mission Viejo Mall, and he was like a local celebrity.
And if you did run into him, he'd push you down.
Yeah.
And stomp on you and yell at you.
Yeah. Only if you were like, you know, black or trans or I don't know, any of the many things Jeffree Star has said horrible things about. And Tila Tequila is just a literal Nazi.
Yeah.
Like a literal Nazi.
Which like the mental gymnastics.
Yeah. But there was also the creation of scene queens.
Yeah.
We did a whole one time on the internet episode about scene queens and just like these first like MySpace famous teenage girls that were like these wild trendsetters. Very fucking cool. What a time.
I did find a way back of my actual MySpace.
Did you really?
There was one snapshot from 2006.
Whoa.
Wow.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Press a button.
So my featured album is Andrew Bird and the Mysterious Production of Eggs. That makes sense. Who I'd like to meet. Reliable actors.
Yeah.
To be in evil primate movies.
Okay.
An audio engineer.
Nice.
My evil twin. Kermit the Frog.
There is no way back machine of my MySpace. And
Shigeru
I'm glad.
Miyamoto and then a cross out and saying, done, bitches. A link to my Flickr, of course.
Naturally.
Some comments from people.
Do y'all remember chain bulletin posts?
No.
You remember the bulletin board, right?
Yeah.
They would post things that were like, if you don't repost this bulletin, a girl will be in your bedroom in the middle of the night with no face and she'll eat you.
Wow.
It was like, chain letters, but through the MySpace bulletin board system. Fun fact.
Huh.
I had a lot of different usernames over the course of MySpace too, so I think it would be very hard to find an archive of mine. But I will say it was always X something X because I was a straight edge kid.
Yes.
So it was very important to have the X's in your name as like an Orange County hardcore straight edge kid. How would they know that me, mind you, I'm 11. How would they know that I don't drink? I'm 11.
I think if you're straight edge when you're 11, it means you don't eat Nerds ropes.
Yeah, probably.
I think it means like, yeah, no, I don't. My mom doesn't let me have Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but you were committing yourself for life.
yeah.
For life.
Gosh.
The X's on your hands.
Yeah, MySpace was the first one that I was really involved with because I do think, oh my God, the groups that I'm in, Adult Swim, Futurama,
Yeah.
video games,
Uh-huh.
the Alternative Beauty Project. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is, and I'm concerned.
And the Frank Howley Appreciation Association. I don't know what that is either. A lot of them were jokes. Like, that's the thing, is you can never tell whether a group was a real group or an interest group or a joke. So it was like,
Yeah.
the Frank Howley Appreciation Association. There might have just been a dude I knew named Frank Howley who started that group and we all joined it. Like,
Yeah.
who knows?
Hey, can we all go back to putting X's in our names? I think that's pretty funny.
I never did that. I never had any of the fancy or tildes or asterisks. I never had any of
Therapy
that.
has it just right because it's the like big X, little X name,
Yeah.
little X, big X.
Yes, or the little, big, little.
Yeah.
Or-
well, little,
or-
big, little
Yeah.
was, or SXE.
Yes, or you do dot, circle,
Uh-huh.
lowercase o, capital O, then the X's. Like those are not straight edge, but those are like
Yeah. No, and because some of them were just decorative. The X's
Yeah,
didn't
the
always mean
decorative
straight
stuff.
edge. It was just like an edgy thing to do at the time too.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
I was always a Carboni.
Interesting.
I was always a Carboni because
I-
I was just like, I'm me and I want people to know me.
I got my existing current username when I was like 15
Yeah.
or 16.
My gamer tag and my AIM screen names were never just a Carboni.
Yeah.
But,
I used to use Sad Duck for all my gamer tags and stuff.
Sad Duck.
Yeah.
She's just a sad
I still
duck.
use it on Xbox. Not
Yeah.
exactly. I'm not giving the exact combination of it. But
No.
Sad Duck was my thing. Like Side Duck, but more sad.
But more sad
But there
than
were
that.
alternatives that were popping up non-fucking stop to MySpace that I was obsessed with.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wanted to be the next MySpace.
And because also subcultures wanted their own MySpace. It was like,
Yes.
there's too many fucking posers and normies on MySpace.
too many normies here. We need one that's
our
just for people
own.
in the scene.
Yeah.
MySpace isn't punk enough. None of you were punk enough. It was the late 90s, early 2000s. None of us were punk enough.
So I'm trying to find, and like there's genuinely like almost no record of this one that I was on. I remember distinctly me and my brother being super into it, and it was called Vein Space. As in like, it was all about the pictures. It was for scene kids in particular.
Yeah.
Because like for those who don't know, scene is a subculture of emo that was usually used derogatory towards people that were just there for the scene.
Yep.
As in you're not here for the music, you just like the fashion and the hangouts.
Yep.
So fuck you guys, you're scene.
But then everybody took that.
And then we were like, fuck yeah, scene kids. Specifically, there were attributed hairstyles. It was white belts instead of black. It was bringing color back in for the emo kids. You go, buddy. So me and my brother were both on Vein Space because it was like edgier than MySpace. As in like, you're so vain. And I can't find a single fucking record of it. Oh, wait. I found it. Hold on. I found an Urban Dictionary article that is exclusively about it. Okay. This says a website that was supposedly designed to make fun of MySpace and MySpace users. It had the same site layout, which is part of the parody, comical additions. However, VainSpace is most likely, if not already, going to become another online hangout for scenesters and posers alike. This was written April 5th, 2006, and is such an incredible, like, pin of the time. Like, they're already here, like, it's probably going to be all posers. probably inevitably going to be all fucking posers. And that's so fucking funny. That's very, very funny already. I love that. Wow. I wonder if the Wayback Machine has vein space. It literally looked just like MySpace, but like a palette swap. Anthony, I found the most incredible article, the most incredible Urban Dictionary. He's taking the boy out. And then we're going to end the show probably when he comes back. It was all about the word posers. Man, I'm glad I'm as old as I am. The internet is too complicated for my old self. Being in high school in the 90s on the edge of all this starting was enough. That's fair. I never knew the origin of scene, and that makes so much sense. Yeah. I one of my occasional special interests is subculture. So always very interesting to me. Anthony, I found one relic of vein space, and it is an Urban Dictionary description from April 5th, 2006.
Relic of Vein Space is my favorite JRPG.
Which is a website that is supposedly designed to make fun of MySpace and its MySpace users. The site has the same layout as MySpace, which is part of the parody with comical additions. However, VainSpace is most likely, if it's not already, going to become another online hangout for scenesters and posers alike. Very good.
Vein Space, more like Vine Space. Bring back Vine.
Vine was only around for 4 years.
I know.
It only existed for 4 years before its inevitable collapse. It collapsed after being bought out by Twitter.
We're still feeling it, though. We're still feeling the reverberations of Vine every day.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think TikTok has not just filled the gap,
Improved it.
but has improved it.
I agree.
But before TikTok, when people were trying to figure out what the next video thing was, and it was all like Periscope, Meerkat, like all this shit, I really missed Vine.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've got TikTok's way better.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I love TikTok. I also saw Lemonade pop up recently. I've been getting a lot of ads on TikTok for Lemonade, and we know that it is likely that Lemonade was created by the exact people who made TikTok, but there's some like shell corporations that make it a little unclear. It would appear that it's made by TikTok though. I signed up to at least save my username, but I don't know if anything's going to happen there.
I sign up to everything as early as possible.
Same.
Because my sister's name is Amanda, and I'm going to beat her to a Carboni every day of our lives.
I love that.
I will always have it.
I will always win.
And when I die, I'll will all of my social media accounts to her.
Finally, you may be a Carboni.
Did I ever tell you about homeless Chet?
No.
Kids, let me tell you about homeless Chet. I used to work at the Toys R Us R Zone. That was the cool video game section of Toys R Us.
Uh-huh.
We were known for having the largest amount of shrinkage and product lost in the entire company.
So good. I love that.
Because it was staffed by me and my friends. And we were trying to give everybody we knew Dreamcasts.
Iconic. No notes.
So people would come in to the Toys R Us, and we'd be like, if you want a Dreamcast, come in. We'll get you a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And we'd tell them, come in. Bring up to the cash register a 20-ounce Coke and a Dreamcast. When we'd ring them up for the 20-ounce Coke. Walk them, but like tell them, just go, you're good.
Yeah.
And then if the security system ever went off, which it very rarely did, I think it only went off once or twice, we'd just be like, he's good.
Wow.
And we gave everybody a Dreamcast.
That's awesome. Obviously, this is all a fictional
Minecraft.
story. This is in Minecraft.
This is all in Minecraft. But over in bikes, there was a guy named Chet, who was like employee of the month every time. Like,
okay.
But Chet was a punk kid, a straight edge punk kid, who literally didn't have anywhere to live.
Sure. Yeah.
And Chet would stay at different people's houses for like a week or two at a time. And if Chet stayed with you, he would come to your house, not with a laptop. He would come to your house with a tower.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Chet.
This punk kid would show up to your house with a tower and a monitor.
I love it.
And like his duffel bag where he only had like 4 days worth of clothes. And he would sit down and he would plug into your internet and he would go on Makeout Club. And Chet, for some reason, yes, it was a CRT monitor. It was like a little CRT monitor that he kept in his car. Chet would clean up on Makeout Club.
Yeah. Sounds right.
He had that Pete Davidson vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chet would just he'd just be like, yeah, I'm going out. You know, I met these girls on Makeout Club. I'm going to go out and we're going to go see a show. Do you want to come? And it would just always be like wild times with Chet. And no matter where Chet went, the bartenders would always give Chet free drinks.
Yeah.
Like Chet was just like the guy.
Hey.
But also just like worked at Toys R Us, putting bikes together and didn't have a house.
Yeah.
And he was the best.
Yeah.
Homeless Chet was a legend.
Here's what I'll say. Working retail in your teens or early 20s, I recommend it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The best part about working retail as a teen or in your early 20s is helping your friends steal.
Yeah.
It's the best part of working retail in Minecraft.
People say, where's Chet now? And I got to tell you, I don't know. We all got fired from Toys R Us.
Why? For what?
So
Shocked.
So they did find out and they pinned it on a couple people. And I had the previous week just stopped coming to work because I did that a lot.
Yeah.
That's another thing I recommend you do in your 20s.
Just stop coming in.
Just stop going to work.
Oh yeah, I did that at a couple places.
Just go find another job if you need to find another job.
They don't talk to each other, I promise.
No.
List one of your friends as your reference. Say they were your boss.
Yeah.
No one checks.
Minimum wage gigs, don't worry about them.
Dime a dozen.
But two of my friends got pinned for it, and they were like, they weren't allowed. They were banned for life from Toys R Us.
Hell yeah.
I don't know that anybody ever checked on that, and Toys R Us is gone now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we would go to that one last Toys R Us that still exists, like in Times Square.
Sure.
And the moment they walked in, there would be like a little chip that went off, and Jeffrey the Giraffe would tackle them.
Yeah.
And be like,
elbow dropped.
We know you stole a copy of Super Magnetic Neo for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
It's a good Crash Bandicoot,
Yeah.
You know?
I hope that's the case. I hope that what's really keeping Toys R Us alive is the hope that one day Jeffrey the Giraffe will get to just elbow drop your friends.
It's literally just his thirst for revenge that keeps it open. I don't know where Chet is now, but Chet, if this somehow ever gets back to you.
When I was like barely 18, I was working my very first.
Okay, you're cool. You're all cool.
I was working my first retail job at a Macy's, and somebody had stolen something. Somebody had stolen we were in the makeup department.
Yeah.
So they pulled everyone from our department down into loss prevention. And they sit me down in this fucking interrogation room. The person looks at me. The guy goes, "So when was the first time you stole from Macy's?" I had never stolen anything from Macy's, to be clear at this point.
Right.
Brand new to the job.
Right.
Terrified.
This guy thinks he's a detective.
This guy, I'm not kidding, pulled me into an all gray interrogation room and interrogates me. And I was like, "Oh, I've never stolen." And he goes, "Good. We knew that." And I was just checking. Because they have cameras and shit. They knew I'd never stolen anything, but they checked with everybody. Because just in case he had missed me stealing something, this could be the chance that I go, "Okay, I took a lipstick." And from that point forward, I was like, I think I should be stealing.
Yeah, you should absolutely
If I'm going to get this anyways, I might as well steal.
They just assume you're stealing.
If you're going to assume I'm stealing anyways, does that mean everyone else is stealing? Also, I'm not 25. I'm 27.
Travis McElroy worked in loss prevention at Best Buy. And he tells stories sometimes about chasing people down and tackling them. And I was always like, why?
I watched them carry a pregnant lady out in handcuffs once.
Yeah, I was just, he's always like, and then we got this guy and they would do this and they would do this. I would be like, why?
Hey, everybody.
Don't do that.
We're wrapping up here because it is well past 10:30, but here's your reminder. If you see somebody stealing, no, you didn't.
I want to see, I'm like, I want to hear all the stories.
Stealing from a small business? No, you didn't.
I was like, I want to hear all the stories of you letting people go, Travis. And he's like, but if I let people go, I would lose my job. And I was like, I understand.
Retail cops.
Don't do that. Don't do that anymore.
Yep. Back before stores got sued for preventing theft. Yeah. Now there's a bunch of things where they can't chase people down like that. You can't.
We should steal.
Yeah.
We should steal a lot more.
They would incentivize it where if you caught someone stealing, you would get a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of money working retail where they would be like, okay, if they were going to steal a $300 bag, you get a little portion of that $300 you stopped us from losing.
Right.
Real weird shit.
Real weird shit.
Real weird shit.
Which means, by the way, that they have at least an extra $30 that could be going to employees.
It also meant though, because like our department, nothing more than $40, right? Makeup, okay? Yeah. Lipsticks and shit. However, if you saw somebody stealing in handbags, everybody ran for the phone because they needed that $30.
God. The way they turn us against each other. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. Hey, but you know what is worth it? Spend a little money to support us.
Hey, yeah. If you saw someone stealing from PixelCircus, you should tell us.
Yeah.
Because we're independent. We're from small business. You tell us.
You tell us. But that bar right there goes up every time you donate some cash, and that goes directly to me and Saige. That's the only way we get paid for this show. Your Twitch memberships and subscriptions and your Patreons and all that stuff goes to the studio.
Yeah.
So we can buy more donut wallpaper. It's not cheap.
Louch said, I'm using ad block. I confess. Can I be honest with you? We don't get shit on those ads.
Shit.
We don't get shit on those ads.
Listen, if you donate, somebody donating $1 is worth way more to us than
like a lifetime of you watching the ads.
Yeah, like it's fine.
Like a lifetime of you watching the ads.
Yeah. Plus, using ad block on Twitch these days is hard. So if you can do it, good on you. You're pretty smart.
Yeah.
You waded through all of the reading materials that you had to.
Yeah. Anyways, we are going to go through and we're going to thank everyone who did those kinds of things, but there's lots of free ways that you can support the channel as well. You can do things like tell a friend about the show. We do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe they'd like to stop by and spend a morning with us. You can join the Discord. It's totally free, where people suggest stories and things they want to hear us talk about, and also just have nice little conversations with fellow BBs.
Have a nice little conversation.
Yeah. You can do things like follow us when we're doing other things. Like where, Anthony?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Maybe I'll stream again one day. I don't know.
I don't know. Who could say?
I don't know. Maybe I'll surprise you. How about you, Twitch?
You can find
How about you, Twitch?
You can find me everywhere at Twitch. You can find me over the internet and on Saige. I will be live tonight on my channel, streaming probably more Story of Seasons because I'm really into it. I love that game. That's probably it. Failed Save is back this Friday.
Failed Save is back, baby.
Did you miss us? We're coming up on the end of this campaign. It's a big deal. We got like 4 episodes left, so come and join us. Check it out. That'll be on Friday at 6 p.m. You can see both of us playing D&D together.
That's right. That's right.
And everything's good and fine and normal. There is the premiere of our Frosthaven playthrough in 15 minutes. If you missed, we had the Gloomhaven RPG a few days ago. We played in that together. Ooh, hoo, hoo, thank you. Frosthaven is super fucking fun, and it was my first time playing it. We got to play the Frosthaven board game. So check that out on youtube.com/PixelCircus.